So once you get into Dune Awakening, you are definitely going to want to find the most convenient locations for you to build bases to progress from early game to late game. And today we are going to discuss exactly the perfect places for you to set all those bases up. So get ready and let's jump in. So now once you finish your tutorial, the game is going to pop you somewhere in the Haga Basin, and you are going to want to quickly make your way up to the Imperial Testing Station number 2. Now, whether or not you want to go through the Haga Basin and pick up all the intel or get all of the quests done, it's up to you. If you want to progress quickly, all of these locations will also be very satisfactory to put you in a position where you will be able to advance easier through all of the stages without having to hustle to find the resources that you need for that time in that area that you are searching in. Now, the first place, as I said, is the Imperial Testing Station number 2. Just to the southwest of it is going to be this little rock formation. And the reason why I'm picking this area as the best place to start off is because you have endless amounts of copper. See, there's copper there, copper here, copper on the sides of the walls. You have all the copper you will need to build your sand crawler, to build everything else that you need, and you won't be in any situation that you have to worry about falling short of these resources, which are the key ingredients for building things early in the game. Not only that, but the advanced cervicos and the particle capacitors are a mainstay for building things like your sand buggy, all the weapons that you will be picking up. So that is just right next door. And then not too far away is the wreck of the Echelon. This is where you can pick up your plastisteel microfluoria fibers and your mechanical parts. Also a key component for all of the weapons, tools, and vehicles that you will be building in the early stages. So as you can see, anywhere around this area is going to be quick. Not to mention, we also have Griffin's Reach Tradepost here, which is where you'll be picking up your trooper quest line. And of course, right on top is going to be your guy for picking up planetology. So as for a starting point, there is no better place than this little section right here. You'll never find as much copper as you do here, and you will be centrally located so that if you do want to make your way around to get all the intel and all of the blueprints before you move into the next region, you can actually just clockwork it around and start. And hey, the best place to cross into the next staging area is right here just to the north of you. So you're already positioned to wrap around, get everything, and then zoom into the Vermilius Gap, where we will be talking about our second location here in a second. Now, once you finish up all of your copper requirements and whatever you want to get finished down here in the Haga Basin, the second route is going to be rather easy, as you're always taught to cross from this point so you don't get up this big sand dune and get caught by the worm by accident. But you will be crossing straight over just to the south of the Anvil, which is the biggest mountain that you are going to see right in front of you. And the easiest route to take is just cutting through here and skirting across the side of all of this area, jutting across, making sure not to hit any of these little red soft powder tracks. That kind of gets the worm a little more excited than usual. And then you can kind of slide up here and you will find that there is a empty space right in here close to what we will be using as our next base location. But as you can see, there is heaps of space in here for you to build as big as you want, although I wouldn't recommend building too big here, as it's not really a great location for in-game stuff. But you will be looking for the Imperial Testing Station number 13. Now, this is very important because these particle capacitors that you will find in the testing station number 13 are key to your progression. Literally almost everything that you will be building from this point until in-game is going to be using particle capacitors. You should be running this Imperial Testing Station on cooldown non-stop all the time, just looting all the boxes and getting everything put together as quickly as you possibly can. I heard something strange outside. Let's see, is there something about to eat me? I almost got ate by a worm the other day. Just want to make sure I have the volume turned down so you don't have to listen to the music. Now, the reason this is a great place is because the next progressive area that you need, or materials that you are going to need, is iron. And as you can see, Iron is all over this place. So, and if you come out on the backside, you can still find copper. There'll still be things that you need copper for. So you want to make sure that you're in an area that has copper. So any of this location right in this area has plenty of iron, not so much copper. So the reason why I picked this given location is you can find copper nodes that spawn here. And since they spawn rather quickly, you can just every 2 minutes or so run out, hit copper, come back and process it to yourself. Not only that, but you will also find there is a lot of water spots. You're going to need lots of water, so you'll be out there raking it up every night to try to maximize the amount of stuff that you can build through this little region. But for the most part, Imperial Testing Station number 13, these particle capacitors are huge. And of course, over here with the Rack of the Palace, you can start getting the other mechanical parts to build more machines or more things that you are going to need. Now, this location will take you from late early game into the early mid game. And the reason why I'm saying that is it is perfectly situated in the middle. Now, notice it's not the middle for you to run around the Vermilius Gap to start picking up your intel points, but it's in a central location for you to start harvesting all of the mid-game materials, such as floating down here. You can get into the shoal and start hitting up your jasmium crystal farm. If you need to know how to do jasmium crystal farm, go to the link. I have a pretty easy guide that will help you kind of follow through it. Not only that, but you will also be needing an endless amount of aluminum ore, which is once again just to the north of you. So you'll be doing that. On top of that, you are going to be needing carbon ore, which is, of course, just a track up and across to start getting the carbon. And the final thing that you'll be looking for are the crystals inside of the ethereal crystals or Ethereum crystals, whatever they're called, inside of the Chome mineral extraction facilities. Also, once again, if you need a good representation of how to get these, follow the link above, because I've also made a video on the best places to go extract these crystals from to be able to bring back. And not only that, but as you can see, there is kind of a path that you can take down to get into the mineral extraction facility just by following this path. If you need something to refer to, just go to that video so I don't hold you up too much. Regardless, this area will hold you until late mid game, where you are going to start needing more aluminum to kind of get into the late mid game to early end game stages. And that is going to be located up here in the eastern shield wall on top of this plateau. Now, once again, I have a video that explains to you the paths that you can take to maximize the amount of time that you are grinding, but you will need aluminum ore like no tomorrow, because all of your ornithopters, all of your buggies, everything that you have is going to require that you are hitting aluminum non-stop. And there is no better place to do so. Please refer to the video. It'll tell you exactly where to put it or where to go search and to mine it. But the late game location is here on top of this little cliff in the eastern shield wall. You can't miss it. Once again, you just follow the path up in through the gully, you wrap around, and then you come up. You can build just about anywhere up here. Not only that, but there's a whole bunch of locations. And the single best thing about this location is that you can literally get into your ornithopter and you're starting at about 650 meters in the sky, or yards, feet, whatever it is. I can't remember what the measurement is. So you don't have to waste so much fuel elevating yourself to get to the next location. So it's perfect for all that. Not only that, but you'll start finding that some of the in-game stuff that you will need to continue on your path is going to be up here, such as like heavy calibrator compressors, light calibrator things, such along these lines. Insulated fabric can be found up here. So there's a whole bunch of things that you'll be able to get into and use for creating that late, mid, early in-game stuff. Now, just as a bonus, once you have kind of gotten around and started saving up enough resources here in the mid game, and you have all the aluminum that you could ever want, which is probably going to always be impossible, you don't really need to leave this area. This is actually a very acceptable place to do your in-game grind from, because basically your in-game grind is going to be getting all of these resources in this region of the map, and of course going into the deep desert by flying into the wall and then going to the deep desert itself to get those remaining materials to start crafting in-game tools, weapons, and machinery. But if you are wanting something more scenic than this area and don't care so much about going around to get the materials, I would recommend my favorite place actually in the entire map is here in the O-Adam and O-Adaham, whatever, O-Adaham, I don't know, I might say it wrong or not, but here in the top corner, this is actually the place where I want to settle down for the very late game. And this is just for my own personal purposes, because not only do I like the view, but it's just right next to the wall that you just jump into, so you can fly into it, go get the resources, and of course do other things. Is there a sandstorm blowing through? What is this? No? Oh, okay, we're just there. Now, the reason why I like this area is because this is kind of a PvE or RP like base builder's dream. As you can see, they have all these pillars, and inside of the pillars, there are these nice little cavey gaps that you can kind of build into. And, at some point you can get the extensions and actually completely fill up this entire hole. You could actually build out here on these little pillars like areas to land your craft or park your ground craft, and of course you can use your backup gun to like pull them out, pull them in. The only downside to this area is that there isn't really much in terms of materials that you can actually grind and pick up, and you're gonna have to travel to get aluminum over here. You're gonna have to travel all the way down here to get your other stuff. So it's kind of a trip in terms of getting the other materials, but it is a very lovely place, and it is just right there next to the border. And once again, at some point in the game, you might have enough surplus that you don't really need to be going to all these other places all that often to get it. And so I would definitely say this is like a good retirement home area for somebody who is advanced in the game and just wants to jump into the deep desert to get in-game materials or in-game mats or itemized items, and then bring them back to your base in a quick and orderly fashion without having to fly and coast all the way across all the northern region to get back to your base. But once again, this area right here, if you do not feel like building in other places, there once again is no better place for you to be. It's central, it has aluminum, and you can literally hit all the other resources just by getting in your ornithopter, lifting 20 meters off the ground, and just floating to them. So please keep that in mind. If you want a good retirement area that's very beautiful, this place is probably one of the best that you can find. Now, I hope this video was able to help everybody kind of get a good idea of the direction that they can go for convenience inside of the game. Now, depending on what your profile or your type of gameplay is, you might want to switch around and do different base locations. But as for mining the materials and getting the items from lootable boxes for the end game that you are looking to complete, whether you are solo or into a medium or big size guild, these are the best locations for you to advance from beginning to end game in this game itself. So I hope this video was able to help everybody find the perfect spots, and I hope that everybody is progressing well in the game. If not, or if so, please leave messages down below, ask any questions, because I'm more than happy to help you guys figure out anything that I know of about at least. And once again, thank you guys for coming, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.